The R33 single unit, also known as R33 World's Fair or R33WF, was a New York City subway car that was built by St. Louis Car Company in 1963 for the IRTA division. They were purchased for service on the IRT Flushing Line, 7 and 7 express trains, which was the closest line to the 1964 New York World's Fair. A total of 40 cars were built, arranged as single cars. While in regular service, each R33 single unit was coupled to 5 two-car consists of R36 cars to make 11 car trains for the 7 and 7 express routes. The first R33 single units cars were placed in service on the 7 train on September 26, 1963. The cars were solely assigned to the 7 IRT Flushing Line and were based out of Corona Yard. The cars were rebuilt in-house in 1985 by the Coney Island shop, except for one car, 9306, which was not rebuilt and instead sent to the New York Transit Museum in 1976. However, they were not retrofitted with air conditioning system and instead retained their original Axiflow ceiling fans. For this reason, they were not used during the summer months due to poor air circulation or airflow and high humidity. The 7 train used 10 car trains when the cars were not used. In 1996, New York City Transit Authority announced their plan to phase out the Redbirds with the R142 and R142A fleets. While the Redbirds on the IRT main line were beginning to be retired starting in early 2001, the 7 service was still provided by R33 single unit and R36 cars. In January 2002, a set of R62s arrived from the IRT mainline. As more R142S and R142s were delivered, R62s were gradually transferred from the 3 and 6 to the 7, in turn replacing R33 single unit/R36 trains. The last car remaining, R33S, 9309, made its final trip on November 3, 2003, on the 7 service with 10 R36 cars, marking the end of the Redbirds and non-stainless steel cars in the subway. Most R33 single units cars were converted to work motors in the early 2000s, and handle such tasks as providing traction for B-division rail adhesion cars and refused trains. The number 1 was placed before the former number, i.e., car 9345 became 19345 of some cars. The work cars are based out of various yards around the system and handle such tasks as providing traction for A-division rail adhesion cars and refused trains, and hauling cars during car moves between different subway yards. The cars that were not converted were 9306 and 9327, which were preserved as heritage cars after their retirement from revenue service, and 9321, which was stripped and sunken as an artificial reef in 2001. Recently, the remaining R33 single unit cars have been decommissioned as they experienced structural or mechanical issues. Car 9339 was retired, stripped, and then sunken as an artificial reef in 2010 after it suffered fire damage that year. A handful of cars were replaced by reassigned R32 cars, stripped of parts to keep other IRT SME cars running, and then scrapped in 2013. 4 cars were sidelined in 2017, after which they were sent into preservation. Currently, another handful of cars are being replaced by reassigned R42 cars. 6 cars have been preserved. Cars 9306, 9307, 9308, 9310, and 9343 have been preserved by the New York Transit Museum in Brooklyn. 9306, part of the museum since July 1976, is the only R33S car to not be rebuilt, and thus bears the World's Fair paint scheme and original interior configuration. 9307, 9308, 9310, and 9343 were previously used as work motors based out of Corona Yard, before being retired in 2017. Cars 9307 and 9308 are also painted in the World's Fair scheme, and car 9310 is painted in the Redbird scheme. It is unknown what scheme 9343 will be repainted to. All cars except 9343 are fully operational and run periodically on museum-sponsored nostalgia trains, specifically on the train of many colors. Car 9327 is preserved at the Seashore Trolley Museum in Kennebunkport, Maine, painted in the Subway Series livery. The car was temporarily displayed at the New York Transit Museum and was used on a fan trip in May 2005 before being sent to Kennebunkport. It is fully operational, though modified with trolley poles, and makes occasional runs around the museum, often coupled to our 22-car 7371. That's it.
Bye!